book there.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, hey, yeah, you can't do it that way.
Yeah, you can't. Do you like my little
first one.
do you like my little quote?
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Oh, wait, we're in the first couple minutes of the show. It's like, sorry, YouTube, I'm not supposed to do that.
No, it's only if like we're monetized, which we're not, so it's fine. Yeah. We're back. First time in like a month, dude. What the hell? Captain, I gotta work a lot.
You'd like go to the Philippines and get married.
Getting married's fun. What are you talking about?
No, from the pictures and stuff, it looked like a blast.
No, it's cool, man. Obviously, like you probably know the most of my closest friends. Kind of how it went down. But no, it was fun. It was a good time. I'm finally getting back to. I'm finally getting back to not being jet lagged anymore. So that's nice. But dude, I'm still not going to sleep in normal time. Hey, what's up, Matt? Respect. Thanks for coming through.
Hey, so I was gonna ask, is your screen different? Like mine's different than the last time. All I can see is I can't see the chat or nothing anymore. It's just a blank screen. It's like when it was like you're backstage, I still have that camera up in the corner. Like I see myself twice, but it's like
Really?
You're in the show. Yeah, but like usually the live chat's over on the right-hand side of my screen, and I don't see any of it. It just says mic, cam, chat, more, and leave, and that's it.
What the hell? I don't know, dude.
If I hit chat, everything goes away.
I'll have to check that out, dude, because like I know when I was gone, like StreamYard was giving me crap because they were like, we're gonna cancel your subscription because your card is like expired. So I just changed it up. But I have the same I don't know. I'll figure it out later. What's up, Michael? Thanks for coming through. East Coast time, 10:30 Pacific time, all that good stuff. We are, excuse me, we are live. Like I said, for the first time in a few months together. Fedora Con came through last Sunday. We did like an anime show, and dude, it was funny. So Jason and I, we went to like a little mini high school reunion last week. Or yesterday,
last night.
Last night. Oh man, see, I tell you, I'm jet lagged still. But yeah, dude, like, I was talking to our buddy's kid. He's like 16, and I was like, "You read comic books?" He's like, not really," or probably reads his dad's old comics. And I'm like, "What about anime?" And he like listed off all these animes I just never heard of before. So he's I think like. I mean, I've been kind of rumbling about this on OTR lately. I just think kids just aren't reading comics as much as they used to. However, SDCC, all the rumblings I heard were there are a lot of younger kids at what's up, Trey? There were a lot of kids at SDCC, so that's pretty cool for the comic community and all that good stuff. So we're talking kind of going back to our roots again, talking about market stuff and comic books. There's not a lot of like, I would say, I think I'm just going like blue chip kind of like speculation here with the upcoming, comics, and like with the strike going on, I think there's some actual time. Trey with the I think with the strike going on and kind of the crappy like shows that have come out, like there's only 2 movies I can think of that came out for Marvel and just like a collectible community thus far. Spider-Verse, which you haven't seen, right? You haven't seen yet.
No, I have because I just bought it. I didn't get to see it in the theater, so that's on the slate of things to do today. I was going to do it this morning when I woke up, but I woke up a little bit later than I thought I was going to, so I just kind of
you're drinking too much.
Chilled out and. Well, I mean, considering like every beer you gave me out of that bag was like, here, I don't like this one. You drink it.
Why in first name okay. Like that, man? But yeah, so I would say, and again, I kind of put this on OTR as well. Mario, which I haven't seen yet. Which I
got halfway through it and turned it off.
Oh, okay.
I got up to the point where he's like met up with Donkey Kong and was kind of like, I don't know. It's not that it was bad. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, for whatever reason, I sat there just kind of feeling like this is a kid's movie. Like there was nothing that really made me kind of feel like this was for nostalgic adults, I guess.
Yeah. Would you so Mario's the other one.
The rest of it, it was just kind of like, it's like I want to watch something else. I
mean,
I started watching Warrior instead.
Oh, there, yeah, Warrior. If you're not watching Warrior,
oh my god, that show is so good.
Yeah, third season just came out. Kung Fu meets Chinatown meets Western. It's pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, my point is like, you know, there's been a lot of just not great shows, and I think it went from like people just speculating on comics and being upset that the show wasn't good to just literally there's just no good shows or like movies.
Yeah.
I know Disney Plus announced that they're upping their subscription.
And they're trying to crack down on password sharing.
Oh, but like, dude, it's $12.95 or whatever it is for like Disney Plus. Like, I'm shutting it down, man. Like, that was like a no-brainer for me.
Well, see, I'm still waiting on. I'm waiting to see what it's going to do for my. I'm getting to. What is it? I'm waiting to see because I get my Disney Plus through my phone plan, like because I've got like a Verizon Unlimited plan.
Right.
Get ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus included. Like they always say free, but it's like you're paying for it somehow. So I'm waiting to see if that's gonna uptick my.
I'm shutting it down. I don't care. I'm shutting down. It's not worth the extra $5. Sorry, Disney. Not supporting you guys anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But like, no, seriously, like, so
there's just not a lot of stuff I watch on it. I get more excited for the big shows that they have. Like I'll watch the Marvel shows, obviously, and then the Star Wars stuff. Like I'm stoked for Ahsoka, but the rest of the shows, I'm just kind of like, I mean, they're like kind of hit and miss. Like I was good with Secret Invasion. Like I was trucking along and it was pretty good. And then they had that final episode and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Just like,
see, it's just stuff like that where like, I think people are like, you know, I've been saying this on other shows I've been on, like the economy's, you know, it's a little weary. Things just cost more. Like it seems like nothing's like slowing down as far as like my consumption. So I gotta like say like $5 a month times 12, like that's a lot of money to be shelling out for something that, you know, I'm not really into anymore. Yeah. And that kind of parlays into like comics, right? So like if you're not, if the whole point of you speculating in comics is because the show's coming out, it's going to feature a certain first appearance of a certain character. Well, if the shows suck, then what's the point of speculating, right? I still feel like there's some collectability because you have to have that combo of either a great cover, great first appearance, and like average like show or movie. Then it's investable and you can kind of buy it on a dip like that we're kind of in right now. However, there's not that many. With that said, we did pick a few like 12 kind of deals where I think there's like a lot of no-brainers in this list today. But our point of the list today is that you can't just be buying first appearances of like fourth rate character that might show up in a show. It just doesn't work anymore. And I'm gonna beat that message into pulp until we get there. So just want to help with the list that protects people's investments and stuff and all that. First, before I get into the show, I wanted to kind of highlight something for us. Hold on one second here. Give me a second. Give me a second.
I'm like messing around with the screen to see if I could get it normal again. Like I can go, so I can like click on more at the bottom, and it'll bring up the chat. But then the whole screen is the chat. I can't see the camera at all, which I don't really care about.
Yeah, you're new to your face. We got nominated for a CBCA award, which is kind of cool. There we are for Bird the Nerd. Nominated. We're live, bro. I mean, seriously.
Live?
We're hot. We're hot. Anyway.
You like us. You really like us.
People like us, man. It's such an honor. I mean, like legit, it was kind of cool. I mean, we started the show like January of this past year.
Just messing around too.
Just messing around, and you know, we've grown from like 50 subscribers to 299. We're almost at 300. So click that like button, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody's friends, whatever. to subscribe to us, and we'll keep doing this. We got 4 live today. Usually we get like 15. So
yeah, see, I don't even see any of that. Like, it's weird.
I don't know what we did, but that's okay.
Broke them internets.
We broke them internets like last couple weeks or whatever, but we'll see. Michael Breaker, latest Deadpool 3 rumor breaking yesterday. Taylor Swift playing Dazzler. Wow, that's kind of weird, but cool. I didn't know that. So, you know, educated here.
I've got a couple copies of Dazzler lying around. I like that book.
You would like Dazzler. You like Taylor Swift.
They're like they're cheap too. Like those things are like you can get a good copy of it for.
You heard it first. You heard it here first. That's what we do. We call out. Heard it here first all the time, right?
Dazzler.
Or just in general.
I think I just watched, or because I'm like rewatching the old X-Men cartoon series on Disney Plus too. That's basically what I'm watching on there right now.
Oh, really?
They just had Dazzler on one of the episodes.
Oh, nice.
Because she's like, I think she shows up during the Dark Phoenix saga.
I never liked Dazzler. I just was never a Dazzler fan. I like Jubilee, but anyway. Well, Jason, I sent you this list this morning because I couldn't get it all done, but I hope you guys like this list. Again, it's the top 5 DC and Marvel, quote unquote, optioned, and I spelled optioned wrong. I don't know why that autocorrected to optoined, but it is what it is. Yeah, just some speculation option books that we kind of want to dive into. Like I said, the current market's it's obviously dipped quite a bit, but there are some deals I feel like you can get like somewhere from like 75% down to like, 25% down, which I think that's pretty good. So let's get into it. So I talked about this book a lot. Yeah, man, Jubilee's tight. Blue Beetle, obviously the movie's coming out. It's not coming out for what, a couple more months, Jason? Do you know?
The movie comes out next week, doesn't it? August 18th.
Oh, oops, never mind. Oh, so you better get this book like right away.
I think. I don't know. I know that they bumped or shuffled some stuff around, but I think this kept its date.
Oh, never mind.
I think.
So
but I'm pretty sure.
So, yeah, don't. So typically with like speculation, right? Their announcement comes out, the first appearance goes up quite a bit, and then the trailer comes out, everyone gets excited, and that's kind of the peak, right? Well, I think if Blue Beetle does like okay, and they have a couple sequels afterwards, the first print's it's not gonna really do anything like for the 1 to 3 years that the movie's gonna come out. It's gonna be like a long-term type of like effect. However, because like you're gonna buy that Blue Beetle first appearance, Infinite Crisis number 5 for like $40 to $60, right? Hold for a 9.8. 9.8s go for like 300, but it's a tough 9.8 in that book. I think a good alternative if you're collecting and you want that return on investment, it's Blue Beetle number 1, the 3rd print. Now this is a copy I think of the 3rd print because I have a couple of these. Dude, I found this at our one of our favorite honey holes for like $3 like a month ago.
Nice.
So when you're thinking about low investment into a comic, I think the print run on this book is like 6,000 according to Key Collector and Comicron. There is sorry, this is the 2nd print. I'm sorry. The 3rd print has a different design on the cover, but there's more as far as scarcity is concerned. The 2nd print, Blue Beetle number 1, I had one in a 9.8. I sold it when the show or the trailer came out. Again, I bought it for $3. It graded a 9.8, and I sold it for like $165. The following week, there was another one that went for like $220. I still think there's quite a bit of meat left on the bone here because I don't see these go for a sale very often. Jason, have you heard about? Do you remember me talking about this book in past shows or just whatever?
Yeah.
Do you like the Blue Beetle series at all? What do you think is
so like? This is actually a character that I know a little about, but I have not actually sat and read any of his books or runs or anything like that. Like most of the experience that I have with Blue Beetle has been either through video games, like the what is it, Injustice games. Like he was a character in that, I believe.
Right.
And so you don't really get like a backstory of him. You just get the character itself. Um, so I'm like going fresh into this, but it's like a character that I'm excited about. I just haven't read anything yet.
Wow, look at that! It's projected to open under 25 million. And you know the numbers of the box office lately too. Like, I honestly think it's not a factor of like the movies aren't good enough to get people in the seats. It's just, dude. I mean, like we go to a movie. It's like what, 12, $15, right, to go.
Yeah,
is it more than that? Like for a for a Saturday matinee, I've gone like with family, and it's like it's a lot of money, man. And so I think people are just like, shoot, I don't want to spend $200 to go see a movie, with popcorn and all the toys and all that stuff and blah blah blah. I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on video. It just I feel like it just takes a lot to really get someone to go to the movies and watch a movie nowadays. That's just kind of my opinion.
No, I feel the same way, because there's times like that's kind of how I didn't see Spider-Verse in the theater, didn't see the Flash in the theater, like still haven't seen the Flash. And then like a couple other things. It's like I think of it in my mind and I'm like, yeah, I want to go like opening weekend, like I gotta go. Like I think the last time I did that was when you and me saw Guardians 3.
Yeah.
And it's just like for me, I'm amped up about it, but then when it comes down to it, it's like you hear one kind of like negative thing from somebody, they're like, it's okay, and this and that, and like all of a sudden I'm just like, well, do I really want to go sit in the theater for 2.5 hours and blah blah blah?
It's a time commitment, man. Like I personally don't like going like on a Saturday at like 3, because I'm thinking I get there like 2:30. It's gonna be a 2-hour show. By the time I get out, it's 5, and maybe I get out like 5:30, 5:15, right? So I'm like, dude, my like midday's gone. That's kind of what I think of. I don't know.
I'm just getting old, I think. Like all the stuff that I used to make fun of my parents about, like when I was younger, I now do.
Michael Baker says ignore the critics. He said he loved Flash. I didn't.
Oh, it wasn't anything about that. It was just more or less like I was gonna see it, and then I heard it wasn't negative about the movie. It was more negatives about the CG and all this and that. They're just like, it got like choppy in areas, but they're like, you got to see it for Keaton's Batman though. Like he like steals the show type deal. And I was like, well, I'll see it, but it's like at that point it had been a couple weeks, and then they just straight pulled it from the theater. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm waiting for it to show up on Max then, because it's just like they straight pulled it. And I'm like, I think you can buy it now, or maybe it's just still rentable for $20. But I'm like, I'm not going to rent it for $20.
Yeah,
I could just
don't. I mean, I'd rather not see it again. My personal opinion, but anyway, so yeah, Blue Beetle #1, third print. Sorry, we're kind of going off course there, but yeah, if the numbers are bad for this movie, I don't think that means necessarily like it's going to be a bad bet. But as far as collectability, and if Blue Beetle becomes like more popular, this could be one of those books that's like a key like book to get of Blue Beetle in the future. So Green Lantern 87. This is a first appearance, obviously, of John Stewart, who in some cases is the modern day Green Lantern to most kids that I talk to that are ages 10 to like 30 or 25 or whatever. This is a pretty expensive book, right? Like, how much did you pay for this raw?
Was it the one copy, my lesser copy that I had, I think I won the auction at $290 for the book.
Holy cow.
Then with fees and taxes, it went up to like $350 or so. And then I sold it recently for like $325. So I took a little bit of a hit on it, but it was more or less because I'd gotten that new copy that's like straight 9.0 copy or better.
How much does a 9.0 go for?
Like anywhere from like, I think it's like 800 to 1,000, somewhere in there. I've seen 9.8s up there, like people selling them. I don't know. I haven't seen any that have sold recently that I know, but like people have them listed for like 30 something grand.
What?
Yes. I don't remember the exact number, but I saw somebody had one up on eBay for like, I think it was at least 29,000 or something like that. I was like, God damn, dude.
So like,
I was like, maybe I should clean this up a little bit and send it off and see what kind of money I can make. But I was like, with this book, I was like, this is like PC. I want to hold on to it.
Wow. So I mean, you're gonna have to put some money into a really like nice, great copy 9.0, like Jason said, to triple your investment or whatnot. But I mean, right there, it tells you. I mean, like there hasn't been any casting announced with this guy, but it sounds like the community just like it's got a nice cover. It's got the first appearance of the character on the cover, so that's always a plus. I bet you the reason why high grades go up for so much is because that white cover. So it's kind of a tough high grade, right?
27,000 is what they have this up as.
Okay, well they're crazy.
Although the picture of it looks kind of janky. It looks like they cracked it and put like a slip in there because it's kind of like tilted, the top blue paper.
Okay, so that one's fake. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying. But
when did this book come out?
71, 72, I think.
Okay, so like I think
it was January of those, somewhere in there.
Well, 71. You could argue then that this is like the Black Panther, because that era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of DC, quote unquote.
Well, and this was kind of like a weird book as far as like how the Lantern came to be. Essentially, like usually the Ring finds somebody like after the Lantern is passed. Like in this book, it was basically like, what was it? Guy Gardner gets injured, and the Ring as a backup finds John Stewart. And
I'm acting like I've read this book and I haven't, just because it's so expensive. I never read it. I'm acting like I've never read this book. Like it's just too damn expensive. Jason's like really good at DC, just like actually reading the book and stuff. So only reason I haven't read this book, I'm just looking at the market, is literally because it's too damn expensive. Yeah. So cool, good stuff. Yeah, this book it commands a high premium. It's an early 70s book. Good luck if you can get in high grade. Jason has 9.0, and that's pretty good. You're probably
it's not graded, but it's definitely it's a good quality copy. There's no spine ticks that I can see. Like there's no color breaks. It's pretty clean. So.
Oh, okay. So you liked the whole chat. That's cool. That's real cool.
No, I said it's at least a 9.0 probably if I was.
Yeah. Liar.
Just saying. Better than the one that I had. It did. The one that my older copy had kind of like a color break line across it.
Manny says, this cover reminds me of my old clubbing days when my boy has had too much to drink.
Yeah. Like, get up.
That was me on my 26th birthday. Anyway, we're not talking about that.
26th or your 21st? I remember carrying you through.
No, dude, the 26th
downtown Seattle while you were yelling F the Huskies. And I kept telling you, I'm going to drop you.
Okay, well, anyway, still F the Huskies. I don't care. No, my 26th birthday was way worse. Back to comic books. Fantastic Four 94. This book, I feel, has dropped quite a bit. I remember this was going for like 800 to 1,000 during the comic boom. First appearance of Agatha Harkness. I think you can find this for like a 9.4 for like 250 to 300. I know she's kind of a B-level character, but the actress herself, I feel, has a good following. She's pretty damn funny.
Oh yeah, Catherine Hahn's freaking hilarious,
right? And even if like when I was watching Scarlet Witch and that whole kind of mystical part of the MCU, it's really intriguing to me. And Agatha's origin, like 10-minute origin story in the show, I actually really dug it. I know a lot of people didn't like the Scarlet Witch series, but that's like actually one of my favorite unique type of shows on Disney Plus to watch. So I just really feel like it's a good one.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, obviously, right? But it was just so different. I just liked it. But
because I just think this of their good shows, because they had that and then they had Loki, which I enjoyed as well.
And I think Michael was talking about Loki season 2 coming out.
Comes out in October, I believe. I'm excited to see that. I'm just interested with all the stuff surrounding Jonathan Majors and this and that. It's like, what are they gonna like? Because Kang was obviously an impactful character at the end of that season. What's his impact going to be on the show going forward? If it's still up in the air about whether
that's
or not it's going to keep going.
That's a great point. I think the overhanging issue right now is the strike. I think that's really what's really going to mess up kind of like delays and whatnot. You know, they've been going for almost 2 months now. So I think that's like more of a situation. Obviously they filmed it already, and you know, that, I don't know, that's kind of that's a tough call to make, but good point also. But back to this book. So Fantastic Four 94. It's a tough high grade. Fun book to get if you believe in the Agatha Harkness or kind of the witchcraft part of the MCU. But yeah, I like this cover. It's as a comic collector, it's a fun cover to get. Fantastic Four sucks as far as spec is concerned, but this may be one of the books to get if you are indeed into the MCU Agatha Harkness type of spec.
Well, it's like funny because Fantastic Four, it seems like every week there's a new casting announcement. They're like, new casting announcement confirms they've hired their thing or Mr. Fantastic or blah, blah, blah. And it's like something different every week. I'm like, yeah.
I think that's just like, you know what, man? Like I also share your sentiment there. I'm just like done with all the like the sources of these like casting calls and stuff, and I'm just over it, because I think what it does to like speculators and like what we enjoy the hobby is like it takes away from the actual like reading of the book, or like the actual usage of the book or the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all just like smoke that I don't want to I don't even care about. Like, just put out the damn movie. You know, I don't care about casting so much. I care more about like there's a writer connected to the story, and they've started, you know, like they've started writing the story.
Yeah.
Casting, I don't give a shit. I mean, like, you're right. The Fantastic Four like casting is like so annoying. So I don't even like listen to it anymore.
Yeah. I'm just the only thing I don't care about.
Well, like, here's the other thing too, is like right now, again, we're in a strike. So all this stuff about casting rumors for this and that, they can't even negotiate like with the actor.
Yeah.
So like, why are you even like reporting on that stuff?
Yeah. I'm more or less just like, you did me dirty twice. Like, just give me a good goddamn Fantastic Four.
They've done us dirty like 18 times. And like, I don't even care about Fantastic Four at this point. Like, honestly,
I remember the first one, like the very, very first one. I went and saw that in the theater like the day it came out, because I think I was like, that was so long ago. I think I was landscaping at the time, and we worked 4/10s. So Fridays I always had off. So I would get up and go to the theater, like, and catch the 9 a.m. showing or whatever of that. And I remember sitting there just being like, I wanted to leave like during the movie. And then I was just like, I paid money for this. I was like, I'm just going to rough it out.
Yeah. So again, I mean, like, another thing too is like, you know, fool me once, you know, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, fool me 3 times, you're just a freaking idiot. So
yeah, and I guess my thing with Fantastic Four is like, I'm not too concerned with the actual group themselves. It's just like they're so closely knit with Doctor Doom, and that's what I want to see. Is like, I want to see a good Doctor Doom. Like, that ruins it for me. And you guys like did not do it great each time.
So again, like, if you're concerned about Doctor Doom, right? I mean, the rumors are that Doctor Doom isn't even the main character. It's Galactus. So you're really fucked.
But then you get a Silver Surfer, hopefully.
And again, it's like, until they break in, connect a writer to it, it's hogwash. It's all just kind of bullshit. That's what we've learned from our homie Cooper, at least. Like, you can't cast a movie unless you have a written script. Because what does the actors want to read? So if you're an actor and I say, I want to cast you as Reed Richards in this movie, what are you going to say as an actor? Where's the script? If you don't have a script, then I'm not going to be in your movie. So it's like, so think about that when you, like, not you, but like people in the chat, or just whoever's watching in the after show. Make sure that a writer is tied to that project before you even start speculating about casting, first appearances, blah, blah, blah. because before all those rumors and stuff, you don't have a writer, there's no movie, and there's no point to speculate on the book. You want to be concentrated on you want to be focused when you're speculating on stuff, if you're, especially in this market too, right? And don't buy bullshit FOC. Yeah, you heard me. Anyway, back to the slides here. That's my rant for the day. Sam Wilson, Captain America. This is a confirmed show that's coming out. It's not the first appearance of Joaquin Torres, but it's the first appearance of Joaquin Torres in the Falcon costume. Now, there is a second print that has Captain America in blue, which I think is so clean. I've tried to get a 9.8 out of this book, like Preston myself. It's nearly impossible to get a 9.8 in this book. The second print is the one, again, I prefer. It goes for like $20 to $40. But I think with the slate of a B cast Marvel character that I feel like the Hispanic community is going to cling on to, this isn't a bad play. However, I prefer to have this in 9.8. For me, I'm a little biased because I just like the character. I wouldn't mind necessarily just holding on to it and collecting this. But if you see a first print, which is this one, or the second print, like in a back issue pin or something, you probably hit a pretty good gold mine there. Jason, did you like the Sam Wilson Winter Soldier series?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
I mean, that was my favorite one.
My thing with like all the Marvel projects is I think we got like spoiled at a certain point because like, especially during the Captain America run of movies, like they were putting out like good movies. Like they weren't just superhero movies. Like they were overall good movies. Like Captain America and the Winter Soldier was like a fantastic, like almost action spy movie. So it was, I think we got spoiled, and now that they're kind of we're expecting that high top notch out of everything, and it's just like it's got to be what it is. Like you can't go into it expecting like an Oscar winning movie. Like you got to go into it just being like, yeah, there's going to be some cool stuff to look at, some explosions and this and that. But yeah, I don't know where I was really going with that, but
oh god.
But yeah, I did like the show though.
Cool.
Yes, I did like it.
And then the theme stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the new Falcon, or if you're from Canada, Falcon.
How the heck did we get nominated for an award? I don't understand. I mean, I'm just kidding. No. You're right, man. Like at the earlier days of the Marvel, we were definitely spoiled. This show came out during the pandemic, and it really killed it. Like honestly, like I really liked the show. You have a first Incredible Hulk 449, and that this I think only adds more to that speculation that you have. For me, this is kind of like one of those issues where it's like, is it the first appearance of the human hero or the first appearance of the human taking on the mantle? I just think this book in particular versus the first appearance of Joaquin Torres, it has the character on the cover and it just pops. It's a great, and I think it'd be cool to get this autographed by the actor because it's a black cover, like right above the introducing the new Falcon. I just think it'd be pretty cool. But this book has dipped quite a bit too from its highs, but I feel it's a buying opportunity going into the show prior to, and then again with all of the strike stuff going on, you can kind of have to look at already optioned or planned media because the fact that the studios can't put out that product. So, and then this is kind of just like, I've loved this book. I have it in 9.8. I paid a pretty good penny for this in 9.8, but Static Shock, Rebirth of the Cool. This is the early 2000s issue. It's a pretty small print run because of the publisher and kind of the litigation, all that. Static Shock always is like a 1 to 5 issue run. I hope one day they kind of figure out to kind of expand on Static Shock. I watched the cartoon, and it's actually a pretty fun cartoon to have. There hasn't been actual announcements of Static Shock going to to the big screen. But it's kind of like, I feel like this was Miles before Miles was Miles.
I think the original run was the 80s or was it 90s?
Original run was like early 90s. And it's kind of cool, like,
because I'm in the middle of that. That's what I like. That's as far as stats. I haven't gotten up to this yet, but I'm in the middle of his original run of books that I'm reading.
And that's a great run, too, dude. The Static Shock Rebirth of the Cool is like a 4-issue run. So the trade paperback actually goes for like $100, which is kind of funny. But you can get this like digital for like $10. It's a pretty fun series. This 9.8 goes for like $500 to $1,000. I think just that range or whatever. I got a pretty good deal on it. But yeah, with like the concentration of like newer characters and younger characters and POC, I think this is a good call if you can get this raw for $40. It's a black cover, so it's going to be pretty tough and high grade. But the fact that there's not a huge print run on this book and it's a mini series, it could pop, in my opinion. And I love it. It's just a great PC book for me too. So
that's why I want that Mobius cover of 48, but it's like 45. I don't. It's so the of the original run or 45.
Yeah, 45. I mean, yeah, 45, dude. We're on a podcast.
I want that, but it's so freaking expensive, and it's like I don't want it to flip. Like I just want it to have because I love the cover. Me too, dude. Just like
I don't know Trey's in the chat, but he definitely talks about that book being like a modern quote unquote grail. But yeah, dude, like I'm right there with you, dude. Like it'd be cool to like if they cast a character finally, or even the voice actor. Like I know some people don't like the signature series and like ruining a book, the cover, but I would love to get that Morbius cover like signed on the lightning bolt at the bottom. And that original Stack Shock run is awesome, dude. I freaking love it. We are almost 40 minutes into the show. We got 11 live strong in the chat. I want to thank everyone for coming through. We are back from almost a month hiatus. So I appreciate everyone's support. Again, it means the world, I think, to both of us. Humbled and all that stuff with almost 300. We have 299 subscribers today. So try and get us up to that 300 be awesome. I'm gonna plug some other stuff real quick. Hold on a second. Only the Rares came back last week. We had here. Some good people in chat also watched this show. We're back every Thursday again. Had a pretty fun. I think we had a pretty fun stream last week. It kind of covered a couple weeks of stuff, that we were talking about. And but no, we were kind of back strong. We came in with 5 of the 6 members, and it was pretty fun, dude. It was good to be back and streaming with those guys. And then also my other show that I'm on with Mr. Brad, Southpaw Brad here. Sunset to South. It's a finance show. If you guys are into finance or real estate or just have questions about real estate, I'm a mortgage broker full time. I lend in a few states across the country. And so we just talk about stocks, equities, and buying real estate and what to look out for. Appreciate you guys' support. We do the show every Wednesdays and all that good stuff. But again, thanks for showing up to this show. I'll get back to the slides here. And please tell your friends, all that good stuff. What up, Kingdom of Nerds? If you guys aren't following Kingdom of Nerds, I think you got a show on Mondays or Tuesdays. I can't remember, but I need to catch up on some of his shows. But good dude to the community and all that good stuff. We will be doing a giveaway at the end, by the way, everyone. Yeah. Hey, Jason, do you want to talk about Century a little bit? Have you've read this book? I'm sure you love it. This character just is like right up both of our alleys, I believe. But what do you think?
What, Marvel's Superman?
Oh, Superman? Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, no, I'm like, fuck. What did you find this book at that mall thing for? Like a dollar?
Yeah.
You were like, why didn't you grab that one? I was like, I didn't go that deep into the box. It's like I stopped like halfway through the S's.
You never go deep enough into the boxes, man.
Yeah, it's a problem.
You never did. All types of boxes. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I'm a bitch.
Yeah, dude. I would say like this book came out when I was in college, like my freshman year, and I could not. It's one of those books along with along with Blue Marvel, and aside from all the speculation, I loved that book. It's just one of those books I couldn't put down, and I read it so many times. We'll see what's going on, brother. Yeah, I just love this. I love this book so much. Sorry, I'm trying to go through like some of the slides. Obviously, there's been who's cast who's cast into this, or who's a rumored cast to the Sentry, homebro Korean dude from Walking Dead. Forgot his name.
God, why am I spacing on his name? You're talking about the guy who plays Invincible too, right?
Yeah.
Damn it! Why am I? It's something Yoon. I don't remember his first name.
Steven. Yeah. Yeah. So Steven Yoon is thank you, Michael. He's like rumored to be cast in this again. Like, there's not even like a writer tied to Sentry yet. So I would say like don't like jump on Sentry at like 509.8. However, this is a book that it would really take me a lot to sell. I love this book. The art was like pretty good by Jay Lee, but the writing by, oh my God, who wrote this book? English dude. He did Darkness, like issues 32 through. Oh my God. What's his dude's name?
Gaiman?
Gaiman?
I don't know. Let's just throw the name out there.
Hold on. Paul Jenkins, sorry. Yeah, Paul Jenkins is the writer of this book.
Leroy Jenkins.
No, Paul. Anyway, but yeah, Paul Jenkins like killed it with this book. The introduction of Sentry in that Wizard issue is pretty funny too. Aside from the value of this book being optioned, I just feel like it's a top 100 like modern book. When I say modern, like 2000 up till today, it should be on everyone's like read list. I think it's a pretty personal book for someone if you're dealing with like depression or like a traumatic event.
Yeah,
it really reads to you or whatnot. But yeah, read Sentry 1 through 4. The other issues don't really go for a lot, which I think is a bit shocking. But this book is like perfect. It has him on the cover. It's black, and he's like exploding on the cover. It just pops, in my opinion.
I think I have the full run of the next installment of the Sentry, like that one with the big flashy like colorful covers on it. Like that first one is the close up of him. I don't remember which year it came out.
There's what's funny about Sentry 2 is every series that's come out for Sentry has been awesome. The other reason this kind of popped in my head, I know there's a new series coming out and there's like multiple Sentries being pulled out. I'm not saying buy it because of the new series, but it's interesting that they're reintroducing like a different story of Sentry because he died in KIB, an old torn right through him. I think that makes me to me it brings more kind of interest in the past issues versus like, oh, they're doing new Sentry. But if you read the tea leaves, in my opinion, why would they put out a new series for a character that's dead? Maybe they want to pay attention to him in the MCU. I don't know. That's kind of what my thought is.
That's what it was. I have the Lemire run.
Lemire,
yeah.
Yeah, you fucked that up again. Yeah.
Well, it looks like freaking Lemire. It's like until I hear it from the mouth of the person whose name it is.
Whoa!
I assume everybody's pronouncing it wrong.
Whoa, the mouth reference. Okay.
It's like until Jeff Lemire, whatever, says his own name out loud, and I hear it. Because I've had that before. There's like bands that I listen to. There's this one band like Phineas, but it was like spelled all weird. We were like, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Is it Phineas? Finahas? Like blah blah blah. And then I saw him live, and he was like, "What's up? We're Phineas from like Los Angeles." And I like looked at my buddy. I was like, "Phineas." Like there it is.
There it is.
I now know how to pronounce it.
Confirmation. Do you know how much a 9.8 goes for?
In this?
Yeah.
What is it, like $400 or $500?
I saw him go
was that
for
low?
I saw him go for 300.
Oh, so
crazy, right? High. Yeah, but like
So the
that's
price
usually
is
what it
right, I
goes
would
for.
have lost.
Yeah. So I mean, I think you buy this for 250. It's not a bad play. 300 is a little bit like, yeah, it's pretty close, but again, you got time to get this, before possible writing of the book, and I'm pretty confident that he will show up. This is kind of, we were talking about Flash earlier. The one reason I did not dig the Flash movie, Michael Baker, just kidding, was because the lack of Flash villains in the Flash movie. Like, name me a Flash villain, not Time. That's stupid. There were no, and Flash has so many amazing villains. It did not have a single Flash villain in that movie.
Not even a Reverse Flash.
Not even a Reverse Flash. I mean, like, I get it was kind of an origin story, and it's not. I don't know if it's going to be canon, that actual movie, but the other thing about recent comic book movies is there's too much like, oh, we're gonna try and hit the nostalgia with like Michael Keaton and blah blah blah. Keaton was cool. I didn't give a shit though. Like, personally, I will watch the original Batman 1 through 3, or to 1 through 2, I should say, to get my Michael Keaton fix as Batman. I don't need him as an aged out like helper to the Flash. I want Flash villains in a Flash freaking movie, and that was my biggest gripe against it. This is, in my opinion, an amazing cover. The story inside's kind of boring, but it's first full cover of Black Flash, and I feel like Flash is always a character that kind of is fighting against himself, and so I feel like this villain is representative of kind of Flash's like internal struggles. So if you want to play that kind of villain, the character like concept and costume of this character as well, I think it's good. It'd be a good play for Hollywood, regardless if he makes into the DCU. This newsstand or just direct edition, they go for pretty good money. It's a black cover / purple with Buffy on the back. You remember that Buffy the Vampire Slayer like milk commercial?
Oh, the Got Milk one.
Yeah.
It's like they just like slap a bunch of white paint on your freaking upper lip like you just drank milk. It's like, man, who's ever drank a glass of milk and had that thick of a freaking white milk mustache unless you have a mustache yourself?
I know too. Did those milk commercials make you want to drink milk?
No. And it was funny too because it looks like, I mean, when people drink it, they make it look like you're just taking the glass and just going like it's hitting your face. Whereas like it should just be like you're usually just drinking it like, there you go, and it like barely hits your lip. It's like,
I know.
It's like, I don't know what's happening right now. Like, what are you doing with that milk that causes that to happen?
Seriously, yeah, agreed, dude. They were catchy though, man. It made me be like, oh yeah, I need some milk today. Yeah, I need some milk. Anyway. Yeah, this Flash cover, it goes for like, I want to say $10 to $20 now. It was going for like 40 at a time. But if you like the CW show, which my wife and I, we do enjoy the CW Flash show. I don't know if he's showed up. He's showed up in kind of different versions in the CW show, but I think this is a great cover to have if you're a collector. You can find it in dollar bin or back issue bins for $5 to $10. I think that's a good buy. The cover just it's one of my favorite covers, and I love the Flash. So anyway, next, ASM 654 second print. This again is a play. Get that man some milk, dude. One of the most classic commercials of all time. Alan Burr. Anyway,
yeah, it's like Aaron Burr. He's like, excuse me? He's like, no, Burr.
Oh, let me get the milk. Yeah.
So it's like, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
I love how he's sitting in that commercial, like he's in an office or like this huge mansion with the bullet and like all this stuff. Dude, you don't need no money. Like, what are you freaking out about? You lost the contest.
All that stuff.
It made me not ever want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that's for sure. Because it's like he's like, anyway. ASM 654. The first print's pretty cool. This second print, though, I think it's interior covers of the last page. I freaking love this cover. it went for like 200. I think the homie Big Leg had multiple copies of this on his Whatnot sales back in the day, but it's super tough at 98. I think I saw 98 go for like $1,000. They're obviously
got a lot of opportunity for color rub on that thing. It looks like
so much, man. It's so tough at 9.8, but if you can get like a 9.4 for like 200, I don't think that's a bad deal either. But obviously, Agent Flash Thompson is already in the Spider-Man movies. I feel like there's going to be 3 more movies of Spider-Man, right? Even if Flash Thompson doesn't become like Flash Thompson here, this is like another quote unquote like top 20 comic cover, rare. It's a rarity. The cover pops. It's tough and high grade. This is like a great issue to get. I did see a near mint grade go for like $89. If it's a 9.6 or 9.8, that's like triple, possibly 10 times your investment. So again, with the dips in the market right now, I think this is a great opportunity to get some like pretty rare covers in higher grade. CGC is just being kind of tough on grades lately, but yeah, dude. What do you think of it? What do you think of this book? And is this one on one of your hunt lists on your Whatnot auctions that you look for?
I mean, I really don't go on Whatnot all that much anymore, honestly.
Or I mean, not necessarily Whatnot, but whatever.
Yeah, I would look for. I mean, I do like this cover a lot, and it's always one that I'll look for. It's just I don't want to spend like a ton of money on it.
What's the most you spend on like a pretty close 9.4, 9.6 copy?
Like raw?
Like raw. Because you like it raw.
I don't know, because I don't really like. I haven't looked at this book in a minute, so I don't know what it's really going for. Right?
It's not like you're like, oh shit, I need one of these.
Yeah, like it's not something that I'm actively like all the time looking for, but it's in my like saved searches, so I get alerts on it here and there.
That's
like
cool.
When something new becomes available, I'll take a peek.
Nice. Yeah, man, I freaking love this comic book, man. Real quick, I'm gonna share. I was trying to go through the chat. If you're not in there, like let me know and I'll put you in the contest. But I got these guys so far in the contest here. And I'll add at the end too, so don't worry. Jason was talking about the Authority earlier on the chat. Authority #1. This is like one of my all-time favorite comic books. I haven't read it in a while, so I kind of forget here and there. And I was more so into the Mark Millar run, 13 through 25 or whatever. Authority #1. This book shot out through the gate when James Gunn was making his crazy announcements. I looking back on this list, I could have gone like 20 books. The Damien first appearances and all that, I probably could have put on here too. But I wanted to limit this list to like 10 books because then we'd be talking for way too long. But anyway, Authority #1. Jason was alluding to. I've got a couple copies of this in the back issue bins recently. So go hunting. It's pretty easy to get this in 9.8. I just don't think like when I sold this for $400-500, it was like first to market type of sale. I didn't look at the recent sales on this book, but I feel like, in my opinion, if they stick pretty good to the story of the Authority could be the team that would replace the JLA. If James Gunn is planning to not really have a JLA like team. Because I feel like the JLA team or like the JLA movies are like they're done. Like those characters are too old to have a team. You can still have your individual movies, but like the Authority kind of hits more modern like viewers. Mm-hmm. And I know you haven't really read Authority, right? But this was such a fresh taste on the Avengers /JLA, but told in a different way. But I think you could really do a good job of like making this kind of the center of like of the DCU with kind of a new take. What do you think, man?
Yeah. So do they have a director for this yet? Do they name one?
He just announced that they're going to make it a project.
Because this seems like this would be right up like Gunn's directing alley, exactly. Especially with the success of the Guardians. It's almost like that kind of deal.
Yeah. And Trev says, no, JLA is like no Avengers, can't see universe without them. It's a good point. I just wonder, like with. Okay, I'll reverse that. So I could see this being like, and kind of piggyback on what Jason said. This could be the. Okay, mad respect. This team could be the Guardians of the Galaxy for the DCU. That's kind of what I meant.
Well, and it's like it flew under the radar until he brought it up too, just like Guardians, where I remember when he first announced Guardians was coming out, like I knew some about it just because like I had like obviously encountered Rocket Raccoon in some of the stuff that I used to read and things like that. So like that led me to like Star-Lord and finding out about like the Guardians. But there's a lot of people when they announced it, everybody's like, what the hell is Guardians of the Galaxy? Like there's a lot of people that I knew that weren't like into comic books really, that when they announced that as kind of like the next movie coming out, they were like, what the hell is this? Like, what's Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know what this is. And then for it to like take off the way that it did, I feel like they could do the same thing with this.
That's an awesome point, man. And if this is the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC universe, I think this subject will bring more viewers into the DC universe because the two main characters in the beginning, they're homosexual, they're gay, but it's not like this. I mean, this book came out in '95, so it's not like they're pushing an agenda. If you really look back at the history of it, it just for whatever reason it worked with the story and didn't take away from it. And actually didn't like it added more to it, in my opinion. So yeah, so I think this is a great addition to any collection. But good luck hunting for it, man. I think you can still find it in back issue pins, or for like if you can get the 1 through 12 set for like $50 to $100. I don't think that's a bad idea. Jenny Sparks is part of this world as well. So there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the lowest I've seen this recently was that one I told you about where it was a claim sale that they were running on Instagram, and they had it for a near mint copy for $40, I think.
Yeah,
of that Authority one.
I wouldn't mind that just because the 9/8s go for so much. So anyway, well, I picked this for you, dude. And we talked about this in past kind of shows. But
I thought at the end of your slides, I was like, did he like leave this in from an old show or something like that, or did he actually put this on?
No, I did. I was gonna put Swamp Thing #1 because correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the modern number? Isn't Swamp Thing #1 the actual Swamp Thing that they talk? Like I forgot the guy's name. I'm not a Swamp Thing guy. So.
Alec Holland.
Yeah, isn't he like kind of like the one that continues versus this guy?
Yeah. Well, so like Alec Holland, yes, he comes around in the actual Swamp Thing series, and then what's it called? It somewhere at I want to say book 20 or I don't remember where it starts, but like Saga of Swamp Thing is within that first run of Swamp Thing. It just kind of starts at book 25 or 26 or something like that, I think. Mm-hmm. I can't remember exactly where Alan Moore came in because he's kind of the one that brought it into the Saga of Swamp Thing.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of where the character first takes off. That's where you get like Alec Holland. I forget what his name is exactly in this book because this is just a short book. Yeah. Like just a prelude story. Same thing happens. I mean, his buddy basically screws him over and sets his lab up to blow and trying to steal his wife or his girl or whatever.
Just like I don't know. Whatchamacallit? James Crider in the house. What's going on, brother? So House of Secrets 92. Do you have this book?
No, I want it, but it's so expensive.
Like raws go for like $500.
Like I've got that. I did end up like it wasn't like FOC or anything like that, and I'm not like big into exclusives, but I ended up getting those 2 virgin copies of the House of Secrets 92 Delato, the foil ones or whatever that I think it was through Carnivore Comics and Comic Tom, I think. It was their exclusive. I ended up getting that just because I like the cover. I like the take on it. That was it.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, like, there are like reprints of this book ad nauseum, but yeah, I just want to put this out there for you in particular, just because like we were literally talking about Swamp Thing yesterday, on the ride home from our little get together, and obviously everyone loves the Alan Moore run. It's considered one of the greatest runs in comic book history, you know, for one of the greatest writers in comic book history. But yeah, I've always wondered, like, this is the first appearance of Swamp Thing, but
yeah,
I always
it's
felt
it's Alex Olson in this,
yeah,
and it's Alec Holland in.
right. And so I've always wondered with collectors, and I don't know if there's any like diehard Swamp Thing character or fans. I would feel that the Swamp Thing #1 would be a better buy because of the actual person is the Swamp Thing going forward,
Yeah.
or is it more of a if it's more of a function of, no, I want the first Swamp Thing like ever. I don't know. Just something to kind of.
For me, for me, this book isn't really necessarily about having the first appearance of Swamp Thing. It's having, it's just the Bernie Wrightson art on the cover. That's what I would be buying it for.
Cool. Yeah,
it's just so hard to you can find it raw and like reasonable price, but it's still just like so beat up, like that side edge.
Yeah.
It's just always mangled and faded, and I mean, because obviously the book gets used, so
right.
It's hard to find like a very, very clean copy of it.
Right. We're almost at. You got 2 more slides left. I wanted to put some modern or like newer books here, just kind of for funsies, I guess. Stack #1 from the most recent Static run from 2023. This 1 in 100 is a virgin cover of one of the 5 covers from this newest Static run. I'm really enjoying this Static run personally. It's pretty real. Like, I think issue 4 or 5, a friend of his dies. Like, he gets killed by one of the villains in the book. And this last issue, he's the villain of the book. I forgot the guy's name, but he's kind of like, I think he's trying to make a deal or just trying to sway him to his side. But it's kind of intriguing because like Static he's kind of cool with him. I don't know. It's kind of different, but you know, with the onset of just like weird writing in like comics and not really being able to be like, oh man, I can't wait for this issue to come out. Static is like my #1 issue comic that I can't wait to come out every month. Incredible Hulk kind of is. I'm still kind of like this is a pretty good first issue of this new run, but the second one kind of lagged a little bit. So I'm curious to see what #3 has to show. But this is still my nomination for cover of the year because it's Static. It's a 1 in 100. Not a lot of people are ordering 100 copies of this book. It's really tough and high grade. I have a 9.8 myself. Yeah, Jason, are you A, reading this book? And B, are you on the hunt for this book?
Reading it, yes. Like on the hunt, I haven't really been looking for it just because it's kind of like I love the cover, but for the prices that people want for it, I'm just not interested in buying it. If I had gotten it out of the gate, then maybe. But
yeah,
I did see that. What was it? House of Stein threw a 9.8 into their Stein.
Oh, their Stein packs.
I think it said it was coming out in like November, but I saw that a 9.8 of this was one of the ones that was going in, like for their preview video for their Stein pack. So,
oh, cool.
If anybody's interested, you can shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot.
I mean, you're getting like those things. You get like ridiculous books anyways. So, like either way, you're getting a good book. But if you're looking for one of those, chance at one. 100.
Commander Cody, I got you in the giveaway too. Volsey, do I have you in there? Yeah, I have Volsey in there too. I really am biased towards Static because I just love his story and I just love the originality of the Dakotaverse in general. But I just love this cover, man.
Well, it's kind of funny. Like this character almost echoes Miles Morales to me, just because they're both come into their powers younger and are trying to discover them like as they go. Because I remember like in the first book of Static, like back in the day, he's still like he has his powers, but he's not quite sure how to use them. Like properly. Like he's destroying stuff every time he tries to like fight crime, cool. And it's just kind of like
so
they.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying. So they there's similarities there to me, where they're kind of learning their stuff on the go.
And like on HBO, you can watch like the cartoon series. It's pretty fun. They're like 20-minute episodes. And here's something else to think about when you're quote unquote investing in like comics for long term, right? Like there has to be like a new set of collectors that are going to want this collector or collection. My nephew-in-laws like Static and they love Miles. And it's because they grew up watching the cartoon, and they like Jon Stewart because Green Lantern was in the cartoon. So it just kind of hits those other, collector kind of areas. And again, this is a 1 in 100. This could just drop. I mean, who knows? Like Stacks never comes to fruition for legal issues whatsoever. It's a little bit of a risky play, but I love this cover and I love Static. So, and last but not least, throwing a little bit of some more authority spec for you guys. Action Comics number 775. This is the first appearance of Manchester Black. I think there's a newsstand edition of this as well. Manchester Black has been part of the Authority universe. He was obviously he was introduced when Wildstorm was acquired by DC. He could be a potential protagonist or antagonist in the Authority universe. I mean, obviously Authority hasn't come out yet, but if you can find this for $10 to $15 or $100 for a 9.8 high grade, I don't think it's a bad play. It's a little obviously it's pretty speculative if you want to play that route, but if you believe in the Authority and if you think there's going to be like 1 to 3 movies, he could show up, and he doesn't necessarily have to show up in the Authority. He could just show up in DC in general. I don't know a lot of people buying 775s of Action Comics back in the day, but I got to imagine this is kind of a tough high grade book. But I think you can find this in back issue bins for a pretty fair price. Okay. I talked to Doug Mankey at a con. Cool. He told me he had creator rights on Manchester Black. He's hoping for big things. That's cool, man. I love when you can go to cons. And I was talking to people at SCCC just to see if like there was a lot of people still at the cons just due to like the strike and all that. And it sounds like people were kind of going back to comics and like reading them again versus like waiting for movie type stuff to go out. So it was good to hear that. But it's pretty cool that you get to like talk to like creators at cons and take it with a grain of salt, obviously. But it's cool that he's pretty open about like, yeah, I want Manchester Black to be part of the universe. He probably is going to make some pretty good coin as well, hopefully. But it's cool you are able to engage in those type of things. But yeah. So anyway, excuse me. Hold on one second.
Superman comics.
Hold on one sec. I'm gonna plug myself in this chat real quick.
What?
That is our show. Let's do kind of a giveaway. Real quick, I'm just gonna hold on. Let me share this real quick.
I can't see any of this.
You can't see it?
Oh, I can see that now.
Okay. I don't know why.
I just mean like the comments and stuff. I see them when you pop them up on the screen, but all that stuff's like not there for me.
I wonder if there's a way for you to like pop up the comics or the comments.
Well, because like it'll like if somebody comments, they're on my little ... more tab at the bottom. I can click that and then click on comments, but then it just takes me to a full black screen with all the comments, and I can't see this. So I'm like, all right, well, so I'll just stop messing with it.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, so I'm giving away old school Nova spec, and then some other just like comics that I liked reading, but I don't really want to keep, just like good reads and stuff. And then I'm trying to think, what else should I give away?
You're gonna have people to be like, okay, pull me out. Take me off the wheel.
I'll throw in a random like key book in there too. I just want to say thanks for everyone. Much love from Chattanooga, Tennessee. S Vaughn. S Vaughn, I'm gonna shoot in the wheel. I don't know. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome. If you could subscribe and like this show today, I really appreciate it. And so would Jason, so he can quit his job at yeah. Arflome, what up, dog?
What up?
Ralph. Ralph says sell Wander Franco. Evidently. Throwing an action comics. You know, I wish I did. I wish I could. Maybe if we do a show that gets 30 people in it, I have one. I'll do that. Maybe when we get to like 350, I'll do a special like awesome giveaway. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Special awesome.
I don't know if everyone who is in the giveaway is in there, but let me know. Wade, I'm gonna pull you out of the giveaway because I think I've sent you a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna give opportunity to some of the other peeps in the chat there. But if anyone does not want to be part of the giveaway, let me know. But I got everyone in there. So Jason, did you want to throw in anything for giveaway? You don't have to, but just curious.
I can. I would have to like look through some of my stuff.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll save it for next week. I know. Oh, Jason, by the way, next week we're gonna try and get a pretty big player in the space to come next week, possibly Saturday. I don't know if you're available, but I've been talking to Fedora Khan. He's not in the chat today, but that's all good. We're gonna try and get a pretty big player to come in next week he's friends with, and if you'd be down to do a Saturday show instead of Sunday, I think it'd be pretty cool to do one. We'll do some pretty big giveaways for that as well. I'll keep you updated, but cool.
As long as they're not making me work, which I don't think they will be, hopefully.
They better not, those bastards.
Well, I finally think I got it under control to where like it's just last week was such a nightmare because they switched us over to this project and it's like,
bro, don't even worry about it, man. Money's money, dude. Let's do this giveaway. Good luck to everyone. Who's gonna win? Mad Respect.
That's a new one.
That's a new one. I know he's been in the chat.
I don't think I've seen that one in the winner's circle yet.
Oh, Joe, what's up? What's going on, Joe?
Woo!
That's the tail end there. Joe sold me a very nice copy of Uncanny X-Force #1 of the. It's actually on my wall.
So I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it. It's the Clayton Crane variant. If you guys like Uncanny X-Men, holy shit, man. Or Uncanny X-Force, all those #1s are fire. Oh shit, I can't say that word. I'm too old for that. It's mid. It's mid. Anyway. Mad Respect had the first comment of the day, and he actually ends up winning. I don't know what the hell's the algorithm, but hit me up on Instagram. Let me get your info. I hope you don't live far away because I don't want to pay $100 to send off something. But either way, I want to, again, we got 13 live in the chat. We had 16 at our peak. Thanks again, everyone, for coming through today. I really enjoy these podcasts with my homie Jason. We're gonna try and keep growing. Our goal is to hit 500 subs and do a really big giveaway. Who knows? I may do like a static #1, 1 in 100 once we hit that high. I doubt it, but who knows? Jason, any closing thoughts for Sunday, or are you get another tattoo or anything like that?
No, I think the next tattoo.
You have to think about that. He has to think about that, people. He has like 500 tattoos. I love it.
Well, because I have to get. He still wants to do one more. He wants to do one more pass on my swamp thing. So I have to go back for like an hour. Well, he like it looks good, but he's just like when he was tattooing me and doing all the color, he's just like, I don't know what's wrong with your skin, but he's like, your pores are like angry today. He says angry. He's like, your pores are angry today, and he's like, I can't tell like whether the green is blending or not. And I sent him a picture after it had healed, and he's just like, yeah, he's like, we'll do like another hour. Plus, he wants to do a flesh tone color on Constantine.
All you had to say was like, yes, I'm getting another tattoo. Like, that's all you need to say.
It's not scheduled yet, though.
Oh, for God's sakes. No one cares. And that's the end of our show. Forever. Jason's quitting the show. I'm just kidding. Again, thanks everybody for watching. Mad respect. Mad props to you. Congratulations. We'll see you next Sunday. Possibly with a pretty big show. I don't know. We'll see. It might be Thursday, but I have OTR on Thursdays. Come through on OTR next Thursday. I hope one of us is going to do a giveaway, but we'll see. And thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Love you all, except for Jason. He sucks. And see you next week. Bitch.